Alrighty, friends. The next victim, or I should say I'm the victim of my sanity, is a new project. This is a Yardworks snowblower. Made it's a Canadian Tire deal. 10.5 horsepower. It's an MTD unit, Tecumseh motor. So far, I've pressure washed it, and I think I've determined that there's no spark. The recoil's all messed up. Studs are broken off. Somebody put self-tapping screws in it, so I got to work on that. I'm going to get the blower cover off, and I'll pick up from there. I'm going to see. This was stored under a porch, and it looked like a lot of salt from the winter time went through the porch and dripped onto this unit, because I did pressure wash it and it was just covered in white crust, which is indicative of a lot of salt. So we'll do that. The guy bought it off and said the oil was changed, the tank's full of gas. So I'm going to go through it step by step. I'm not going to show you me pulling the covers off and stuff like that. So what I'll do is I'll just come back to it every time I get something done. I'll come back to it and show you where we're at. Let's see if we can make this thing run. It's a project that I'm doing for my daughter. If I can get it to run, it'll be hers, and she'll have a snowblower. So I'm trying to make it so that it starts easy and that there's no issues with it. So let's see how this goes. We're just going to start one thing at a time and see if I can get it to run. But again, so far I can't get a real good pull out of it, but it looks like I don't have any spark. There's a spark plug out of it. Like, you can see what I'm talking about. This thing is just terribly corroded. So let me pause it and I'll get right back to it. So I got the cover off. That covers up the carburetor. The blower housing is loose. I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this linkage off, because the next problem that we got is the carburetor linkage is seized. So I'll have to work on that, get that unseized, and keep going from there. But how we got that cover off, pretty simple. Got a bunch of screws. There was 2 screws in here. One here was missing. There was one back here at the dipstick, and that held on this cover here, which is the biggest component, or the biggest function that this cover does, is it provides warm air to the carburetor so it doesn't freeze up in the winter time. You only find these on Snow King motors, because that's what they do. So I'm spraying this now with penetrating oil. Get everything sprayed down. See if I can't get this to loosen up. I don't know. I'm going to try to be gentle on this. I'm just going to wiggle it. I can't tell if I'm getting any shaft movement or not. Can you see that? Because I can't see. It appears that I may be getting some shaft movement. No, I'm getting some movement of that arm now on the shaft, but not actually the shaft. Hopefully this carburetor's not finished, but I can't see. Take a look down inside the bore. I can't even see inside the bore. I have to pull all that apart. And I don't know. Can you see down? I can't see down there. So let me get this figured out. I'll pull the choke assembly off and see where we go from there. But so far the carburetor is stuck solid. Well, there it is, friends. I got the carburetor off, and there's the corrosion damage. It's hard to see, but the butterfly is corroded to the bore at the top. Sorry, I don't know if I can, and at the bottom, and I cannot get it to move. So it is complete junk. And even if I did get it to move, look at the play in here now. So maybe hammer that back down, get it tight, I don't know. But is that bore ever going to be any good? Like, you can see the pocket of corrosion there. Screw it, it's done. Carburetor's corroding on the outside. Lo and behold, thank you Amazon, we have a Chinesium wonder. So, and I bought this for my blower, which I think is about the same vintage. So that will take the place. And I did buy the one with the adjustable carburetor. And I'm thinking, and it's got the tickler valve to drain it. I'm going to go out on a limb. Came with a new primer and a fuel filter. I'm going to go out on a limb and tell you, if you buy a replacement from Amazon, get the one with the adjustable jet on the bottom. That's your high-speed jet right there. Okay? So at least we got that. So we know we can fix that. So we're not all that worried about the carburetor. It'll become a parts donor with what little's left. So there we are there with the carburetor off. It's Phillips head screws. And what I used was an impact to get in there alongside. I didn't film it because it's hard to do one hand. So this is the arrangement that'll make it work really easy to get that out. So now I got to pull the governor linkage off. So I'll take note of that. That's where that setup was. So I can put it back together. Now I got to get it off because I'm thinking the magnetos, the CDI unit's garbage. I'm going to take off the blower cover and see if I can't spin it over. And then see if we can't get any spark out of it, because I got to fix the recoil anyway. So that kit was, that carb I think was $25 on Amazon. So we're into her for 25 bucks more now. But whatever. We'll see. It's a good project. I do recommend that you do not store your power equipment under a porch where salt water is dripping through, because that's the damage there. So let me get back to getting the cover off and we'll see what happens. What's that saying? Stupid is as stupid does. Look at that. Look at the corrosion. And that's the magneto that's hard to get. It's all front. I don't think it's going to fire. It's all jacked. I don't know. I'll give it a try. I'm not hoping. And that's the one that's so hard. I just went through this on the riding tractor to get a mag. What a pain to get. And I end up having to put a used one on, because I got one out of Amazon and I had to reorder it. Well, we'll try that. I don't know. Look at the corrosion. And it was running with all that corrosion in there, because look at the inside of the blower housings. It's all sprayed around. So whatever was spraying off there was hitting everything. Wow, people just don't think when they store their equipment. Like, seriously. What were you thinking? There's a joke. You weren't thinking. Well, we'll keep going, see if we can resurrect it. She's a tough one. So, took the coil out of the tractor, stuck it in this thing. So what we're going to do is see if we can get her to run. Now, the golden rule in small engines is 10, 20, 30. And I'll explain to you the 10, 20, 30 rule. 10 thou in the magneto gap between the magnet and the flywheel. Or what I like to use, good old-fashioned electrical tape. And it doesn't really matter the color. You can use green, you can use white, you can use red, and you can use non-Caucasian. So that's entirely up to you. It's all basically the same. So I'm not going crazy tight on these bolts. And then we roll that out of the way. And that's it. I'm going to get that drill over there, Jake. And we'll try and spin this baby over and see if we got spark or not. I ordered some new spark plugs. They'll be coming. Can you put the plug in the wire and set the wire in the ground? Shove it in the end of the boot. I got the shove it in real hard. Push twister in there. All right. Try to hold it on the ground. You won't get whacked.
On the ground?
Ground. Metal.
Okay.
No, you got to hold the metal part of the spark plug to the metal part, ground to ground.
Okay.
But don't touch the center electrode in there, it won't spark. Anything? You don't see spark?
Not a big one.
Did you see one at all?
A little tiny one.
Okay, hold on. Hold on, folks. I don't know if we're going to be able to see the spark. Now we have spark. Lots of it. Okay, hold on. Well, it doesn't work. So we got that fixed. I added 4 turns into the recoil starter. That goes behind there. Keeps that out of the flywheel. So we got the recoil starter done. So I'm going to put the recoil back on. See, the handle's nice and tight in there. And then I'll pick it back up again. So this is all ready to be bolted back up. It's a little bit dirty in there, but
we'll pressure wash it later.
We'll see how that goes. And I got to mount the carburetor. We'll be changing the gasket and everything. We'll charge our Tecumseh Amazon carburetor. So hang on. So we got the blower cover back on. Jake's just going to run the bolts down and tighten it up. 1/2 inches in my hand. Be careful. Yeah, watch that doesn't cross.
A little bit of a bind and it's kind of a shitty start. So good.
Yeah. And I'm going to take some spray grease, fire it into the bushing. Sorry folks, didn't know you didn't see that. And the bushing seemed to be okay. I don't know that this unit's had a lot of, other than abuse. There's 2 things that goes on. Is abuse and use. Now with these axle bushings, I tend not to get too worried about them because I have changed them before and literally had no better result than when the original ones were on. So what I'll do is I'll put anti-seize on these shafts here for the wheels. And then that way the wheels will never stick on, because it's handy to take the wheels off quick, because sometimes you have to. I'll bring the video back on as I mount the carburetor and we'll get to that point. And then we'll be ready, I think, to try and start it up, hopefully, and see if any of this worked out or not. So I got good tension in my rope. Yeah, so let me I'm gonna tighten up the last bolts, snip them up, get the governor linkage back on, mount the carburetor, and I'll bring back the video to where we were at that point. Stand by. Jake's putting the wheel back on. You can see the liberal amount of anti-seize we put on the axle shaft. We got the carburetor on. You can see that there. Keep spinning her. Just roll it on. There she goes. There you go. Look at that. And that'll keep it, because you got to pop the wheels off of these things to work on them sometimes. So we're going to see if we can get this thing started. Okay, wheels are on. Pausing now. Hold on. Here we go. People, here we go.
What the fuck is that noise?
we're gonna play with this carburetor, but these carburetors from Amazon suck.
Interesting type of thing, eh?
Well, I don't know. She didn't go well. We can't get it to run worth a hill of beans with that Chinesium carburetor from Amazon. So I think what we're going to try to do is maybe try another one. The electric start worked for a bit, and then it quit, so I think it might have a thermal overload. Rewound the starter 2 times because we pulled the knot off. The little tiny eeny weeny drive belt needs to be replaced. The blower belt, although it looks good, is skipping away. It makes a horrendous noise. Now, I don't think that's good, but we'll try and see. So I do have that belt in stock. We're going to, like I said, we're going to try again with another carburetor. We're just going to cover this up, and I'm going to order one. Everything else works. We cleaned the friction wheel. Flip her up for a sec, Jake. Let's have a look at that.
Oh, the friction.
So we did, it wouldn't drive at first at all. Forward, reverse, nothing. So, here's the underbelly. That's the drive plate there. We did some work to that. Got it better. So yeah. Put some lube on the gears. Here's the drive wheel. You can't get any grease. See this friction plate, the friction wheel here and this plate have to be super clean. I mean, there's still a little bit on there, or it won't drive. It'll just sit there and slip. So make sure you get that clean. We're gonna try again. We're not gonna give up on this. It's making good content for the channel. So we'll try again, but stay tuned. We're gonna order another carburetor. I got a spark plug coming, and if not, she's a parts machine. But the carburetor I got on Amazon last year, that was for my other blower. I just can't get it. It won't mix. The mix is right off. I can't get it. It's very lean. I can't get enough fuel through it. So we're gonna try and see if we can't figure that out. Go right back, Jake.
I'm sorry. Oh yeah.
There you go. Right. That needs to slip under there. Like the hanky-janky nightmare that it is. You're gonna have to get maybe a rubber mallet or something. Give it some love. Get that up there. Yeah, it's quite disappointing. We were working hard at it, and we just didn't get the result. Fixed the headlight, so we fixed all the goofy stuff, and that carburetor right there is not worth a hill of beans. But I'm going to try another one, because you can run that mixture screw all the way out and it does nothing. You're all the way out till it falls out and it changes nothing. And I give it a little bit of choke and it works okay. It starts to smoothen out while it's running, and then all of a sudden about 15 seconds later she'll quit on you. You'll just load up with fuel and die. So definitely there's a carburetor problem there. I've had enough kicks at the cat to realize that. So it's, you know, it's almost at this point it's a waste of money, I guess, as the snow blowers go. There you go. But I don't know. The tires hold air. What are the tires worth? Tires and rims. You know, if you got a machine that doesn't hold air. So you got to look at it that way. The short block, it's got good compression. I mean, it's got really good compression. So the short block is good. So somebody throws a rod, that's worth it. So at this point of the game, we're kind of at the break-even point, I guess. But anyway, we'll keep trying. I'll get some parts and we'll do a part 2 on this and see if we can get it back again. Alrighty, talk to you soon.